This is The Great Expanse by JohnBat426 here on YouTube. It is always a pleasure to record these videos, to edit them. Yeah, something distracted me real fast. That's why I looked down. But anyway, to edit them, to put my unique spin on them so that we can stand out, we can stand among the other great reactors, okay? And if you've liked the videos that you've seen thus far, hit the like button. If not, hit the dislike button. Share these videos with other people that you know that like comic book related stuff as much as you do. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. Which one? All. Not personalized or the one underneath, but all. So the next time a new video is dropped, you'll know about it second. I'll know about it first. One breath champ. Still no biceps. But anyway, still one breath champ. So you know what the video is about. You clicked on the thumbnail, you saw it, and said, hey, we got a new video from John Beth. Anyway, you might not have been that enthusiastic. But Fantastic Four director gives casting and filming update on MCU movie. And you know the Fantastic Four is something that I'm really looking forward to, along with the X-Men. X-Men, obviously, more than the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four, one of my favorite superhero groups of all time. Again, I said, is X-Men, Justice League, then the Fantastic Four, all right? So the website is Collider, okay? And the author is Chris McPherson, all right? So director Matt Shakman says the film will be unlike anything at Marvel you've seen. I hope so, okay? Because we've just proved with Loki's season 2 opener that the tone can be different and still be awesome. All right, so let's go right into the article. Okay, those are the highlights. Here we go. Marvel fans have rightly been concerned about the upcoming slate of Phase 5 and 6 projects in the MCU, which have been placed on the back burner as a result of the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. But director Matt Shakman revealed to Collider's editor-in-chief Steve Weintraub during an interview for his upcoming Apple TV Plus series Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, I made up Legends for some reason, that his upcoming Fantastic Four film will shoot next year in London, next year, 2024, with Marvel aiming for a springtime start on getting Marvel's first family into the multiverse saga currently besieging our favorite superheroes. I like this language, okay, of this article. A number of exciting names have been linked to the titular quartet for the film. Yes, we were getting some casting information. Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, Sue Storm, and her brother Johnny Storm, and the parts are some of the most coveted in Hollywood. That might be Cat, Chris, okay, but maybe not. To date, there have been absolutely no confirmation in any way for the film, and it's been complicated by the strikes, as Shakman revealed. One name linked to the role of Reed Richards has long been John Krasinski, who I would like to see reprise his role. I would also like to see Adam Driver take a stab at being a hero. Okay, you like that? That was a stab, not something else. Okay, who played a variant of the character in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. However, Krasinski has stated he's unlikely to play the role again, as he told The Wrap back in 2022. But a lot of times actors lie to keep things quiet, and unfortunately they have to do that because people prune them like they do in Loki. Tell me, are you playing Reed Richards again? And so they might have to go, he might have to pull a Jim Halpert and go, sorry, no. Okay, anyway, as one would expect with a project of this size and scale, plus the marvel of it all, concrete information is hard to uncover. On the casting front, Shakman noted that with the SAG strike ongoing, it was impossible to announce anything or put a time scale on it. However, he did add that he was very excited to share the news with fans and that there will be a plan in place to announce the casting as soon as the strike came to a successful conclusion for the actors. I believe it did come to a successful conclusion. Last I heard, there was a preliminary agreement in place to end the strike. Shakman confirmed that, successful outcome of the SAG-AFTRA strike pending, the movie would be heading to the legendary Pinewood Studios, where they filmed Star Wars, where film history has been made throughout the decades. Yes, we are definitely going to go in front of cameras next year, he said, probably the spring. It'll shoot in London, Pinewood. Weintraub asked Shakman about the screenplay for the upcoming feature, and as expected, details were thin on the ground, but his enthusiasm was evident as he teased that it was certainly unlike anything at Marvel you've seen before. So I'm going to get a quote here from Matt Shakman. I don't know how he speaks, so I'm going to purposefully make my rendition of his voice a caricature, okay? It's different in so many ways. I wish I could be specific. I wish I could say more, but we are doing things very differently from a story standpoint.
from an approach to the filmmaking standpoint that really fits the material. I wish I could say more, I would love to, but I can't, but I think it's going to be unlike anything you've seen before, and certainly unlike anything at Marvel that you've seen before, so he's just been very repetitive for this quote, okay?
End quote. For more on Fantastic Four, you can watch what Shakman told us in the player, which was nothing, okay? Or read the full transcript below. Look for more with Shakman next week on Monarch Legend. Why do I keep saying Legend? Legacy of Monsters. Now, this article is ongoing, but I want to end it there. I don't want to read the interview part. All right? So, sorry, Matt. That's all you get from me. Now, the Fantastic Four. Now, the Fantastic Four is a big deal. If you're not familiar with them because you've only seen the Avengers in the MCU, you might not have been as excited to see John Krasinski show up as Reed Richards. You might be like, who's this guy? But as longtime Marvel fans and people that are of a certain age, okay, there were 3 Fantastic Four movies previously. I think the first 2 were directed by Tim Story. I think the first 2 were. I know the second one definitely was directed by Tim Story. The third one was directed by Josh Trank, okay? So there was the Fantastic Four, 2005, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007, I believe, and Four Stick, which was not met with appreciation or any kind of love, was filmed in, was that 2015, I believe? I'm not sure. None of these movies really hit the mark of the Fantastic Four. The second one probably came the closest. And the first one was pretty, both movies were pretty good. The third one was off. Not awful, I said it was off, OFF. The third one could have been so good. You had like the cream of the crop of young actors on the rise. Toby Kebbell, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Jamie, what's the other guy's name? I don't remember. And the young lady. Sorry, I forgot her name. That played Sue Storm. And Sue Storm was very like postpartum depression in that movie. She wasn't done very well at all. Dr. Doom was kind of ridiculous. I just want to be left alone. Ridiculous. But the Fantastic Four need to be updated. They need to be modernized and really inserted into this Phase 5 or Phase 6 of the MCU as soon as possible. But as you can tell, okay, first of all, Matt, you're being disingenuous. You know how I can tell you're being disingenuous? Because you said you can't say more. You said it's going to be unlike anything that Marvel has seen before. All right. And when I say disingenuous, Matt, of course, I'm not like throwing accusations or hurling anything at you. This is for my speaking point. Okay. So it's not serious. More power to you, Matt. The fact that he said we're going to start filming in the spring of 2024, that means you knew who the cast is. Now, I don't know if with James Gunn's announcement earlier in the year on January 31st about this partial slate of the DCU reboot, maybe everybody's saying we should all have casting events. If so, okay. But Matt, you already know who's filled this role of Reed Richards. You know who filled this role of the Thing, Ben Grimm. You know who filled the role of Sue Storm and Johnny Storm. You know who the bad guy or bad girl or bad thing is. Come on, Matt. Give me a hint. Give me a sign. Lord, give me a sign. Okay? You know what I mean? But you know better, Matt. You got to give us more than, I wish I could say more. That's telling us nothing. All right? But anyway, as you can tell, I'm excited for the Fantastic Four coming into the MCU. And again, when I first found out that Fox was being purchased by MCU, I wasn't as head over heels as everyone else was, because everybody just loved like the formula of the MCU. I haven't been in love with the formula of the MCU. I'm just glad that we have a unified universe. Now, Spider-Man is still owned by Sony. MCU cannot do anything with Spider-Man without Sony's say-so. Universal still owns the rights to the Incredible Hulk and Namor. They can only add Hulk and Namor to ensemble casts. Okay? So they don't fully own it, but they can kind of just like include them in everything. So now we sort of have a unified Marvel universe. And that's, to be honest, that's the only thing I was excited about when I heard they purchased Fox, was a unified universe. But the Fantastic Four, I don't think that they should start in the current continuity of the MCU. I think they really should play out the whole multiverse saga thing. Now, obviously, Kang the Conqueror as Rama Tut, which I proposed, can venture into the multiverse. He Who Remains explained that, and For All Time Always, the season 1 finale of Loki. Okay, and you know where I want them to go. If you're going to introduce the Fantastic Four, you can also do a little snippet, give us a little nugget with their first encounter with Rama Tut in the past, because in the comic books, you know which larger character has their origin story, with Fantastic Four battling Rama Tut in the past. Apocalypse. So this just lets you know with Fantastic Four how essential they are to Marvel Comics, not just their own. Johnny Storm was very instrumental in Peter Parker donning the mantle of Spider-Man again when he was defeated for the first time by Dr. Octopus. Peter Parker went to, I don't know if it was a symposium or like a press conference where I'm talking about back in the 60s, okay? Johnny Storm talked about how tough it is for the Fantastic Four, how they had all these hardships, but they always fight, they're always heroes. And then Peter Parker left that event saying, this was all in my head. I can still be Spider-Man. And that's what gave him the drive to face Dr. Octopus for a second time and eventually defeat Doc Ock, okay? We also know how Reed Richards reached out to that same Dr. Octopus decades later to save Sue Storm's baby, who was born in the negative zone, okay? And again, as I just referred to it, the Fantastic Four, very essential to the origins of Apocalypse. And that's one thing I've always loved about Marvel Comics. A lot of times you're reading a comic book and you'll see a panel cameo of another character. Like, let's go with the Sinister Six. There were so many cameos. There was the Fantastic Four had a cameo, and the Sinister Six is Spider-Man, okay? We saw Doctor Strange in his astral projected form just walking down the street, and like a lot of times you just see like Thor flying past. That's why I was excited about Fox being purchased by the MCU, because you can see cameos now. You know what I mean? So I definitely want the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to start in those kind of branched timelines, okay? And then, of course, I want them to eventually be solidified into the main continuity of the MCU. All right, so that was just my take on it. If you appreciated this video, if you liked this article, my reception to this article, my review, my response, hit the like button. If not, hit the dislike button, okay? Let's get some likes for this video. Let's get some shares for this video so that the YouTube algorithm can see that we've got traffic coming in. Traffic going out. David Brent, please let them know where their comments or dissertations go, sir. Thank you, Mr. Brent, for all your help. Do your part, and I will do my part so that The Great Expanse by John Beck 426 can and will expand